Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are joining us live on the starting grid here at Autodrom Most before the second race of this weekend's TCR Eastern Europe. It was Matej Homola who scored a victory yesterday, but then he also drew number 10. So he's now demoted back to 10th for the reverse grid. And that is promoting Jordan Dolishka on pole position. And maybe let's try and hear from her very quickly before the race. Okay, I think we're coming in the last minute, so we're not going to disturb her. It's Jordan Dolishka, Austrian driver, who is having a car prepared by Mertl Motorsport team. Alongside her on the front row, it is the local driver, Vít Smejkal, with the Express Auto Racing. Row number 2, Ivars Valers and Jirka Zbožinek, but the favorites all the way at the back. We can't even make our way back there because we've got Janík Motorsport drivers Matej Homola and Adam Kout, who were 1 and 2, first and second yesterday. They are now sharing row number 5, and the master of Sunday's races, Attila Bucci, down in P7. So we are bound to see an exciting one. Let's go and enjoy it. So the cars are now setting off for the formation lap for race 2 of 4th weekend of the season, and it is Jordan Dolishka using the pole position thanks to the reverse grid rule, and because yesterday's winner Matej Homola was rather unlucky with his draw, he chose or picked the highest possible number. You're always picking a random number between 6 and 10 that decides how many positions will be reversed for the grid for race number 2. It demoted him from 1st to 10th, but also promoted Jordan Dolishka to pole position alongside her local driver Vít Smejkal, and this is directly his home race. He lives really not very far from here. And Ivars Valers in 3rd in his Audi RS3, the predominantly yellow car, alongside him on row number 2. Jirka Zbožinek, he was rather happy after yesterday's race. Qualifying had not been great for him and left him pretty much at the back of the field, but a nice fight through gave him second in race number 1. So he is in good mood and hoping for a good result for race number 2 as he starts from second row on the grid. A podium place is definitely the aim. Žarko Kněgo, 5th on the grid, just like yesterday. He dropped back at the start yesterday, but then fought back and finished 6th on the road. He enjoyed a nice fight with another local, the other Express Auto Racing's Petr Čížek. Attila Bucci, 7th on the grid, just like yesterday. He came through the field to finish 4th, so a podium or even a victory will definitely be his plan, and the more so that his main championship rivals are starting behind his back. Attila Bucci so far victorious in all of the Sunday's races. Let's see if he can make it 4 out of 4 from 7th on the grid. Alongside him on row number 4, it is René Kircher from Mertel Motorsport. Not the best day for his teammate David Kajaya yesterday, who had to retire after the opening lap, so he will be starting 12th alongside Giacomo Germandi. So row number 6, 2 Hondas, but ahead of them 2 Hyundai Elantras, fielded by Yannick Motorsports team. Adam Colt in P9, victorious here last year. Yesterday he managed close second, and Maťo Homola, who scored yet another Saturday victory in yesterday's race. Everybody getting ready for race number 2 here in Most for round number 4 of the 2024 season. Everybody in their grid positions. The green flag is now in the air and the red lights are now coming on. And we are racing in Most. It was not the best of reactions from Jordan Dolishka, who's immediately under pressure, and it is local Vít Smejkal in the race lead from Ivars Valers, and behind there's a big pack of cars that will be interesting into the first corner. Down the inside, that should be Maťo Homola or maybe Adam Colt, even Ivars Valers jumping across the curbs. Giacomo Germandi also trying hard. René Kircher now in the gravel, dropping all the way back. Attila Bucci fighting through. Hello. And this is Vít Smejkal leading the race from Jordan Dolishka. And look at that. That is Adam Colt coming through, car number 68, making a great start here on the home soil. And he is now promoting himself immediately into top 4, and this is a contact. Attila Bucci with Giacomo Germandi. Bucci finds himself in gravel. He's trying to get out, and does he have a puncture? What is going on for the young Hungarian? He does not seem to be driving very fast, but coming back on pace, but dropped all the way back. So now suddenly the 4th Sunday victory seems to be in a long distance, but back to the race lead. Adam Colt round the outside on Jordan Dolishka, and also on Vít Smejkal side by side for the race lead. And Adam Colt immediately on lap number 1 from 9th on the grid into the race lead. Adam Colt, the new race leader. Vít Smejkal in 2nd, Dolishka 3rd, Ivars Valers in P4. Petr Čížek also trying to come through. Žarko Kněgo currently 6th and defending from Giacomo Germandi. So what a fight back. Ooh, Ivars Valers dropping 2 wheels onto the gravel. Still not back on track through the final corner. He's gonna lose a lot of ground. And this is a big fight. That is Vít Smejkal trying to defend. Jordan Dolishka making a move down the inside with her Honda. Is she going to make it into the corner? Only just, but what a move. And Vít Smejkal in the gravel and close to the barrier. Luckily, he did not crash into it, but he has beached his car, and I'm not really sure whether the home driver will be able to get himself out of that situation. What a rotten bit of luck for the local driver, who was even in the lead on lap number 1, but on lap number 2 finds himself trapped in the gravel. But the race is still on. We've got Ivars Valers actually also in the gravel around the outside of the final corner, crashed into the barrier. So that situation where we saw the start of, or which we saw the start of, resulted in a crash into the barrier, and this might actually even bring out the safety car, and it does. Safety car is out, so everybody has to slow down. Careful, careful. not to actually find yourself overtaking under the safety car. That was Jarko Kniego coming through. This is Ivars Valers. We saw him dropping the outside wheels onto the gravel at the end of the first lap, and we did not see the rest of the situation, but in the end it seems that he did not manage to save that. Adam Colt in the lead, and what an opening lap that was for the local drivers. Victorious last year, still waiting for a win in 2024, and what a way to score your first victory this would be after such a great opening lap. But this is the disappointment. Wiet Smekal, he was on the front row, he was leading the race on the opening lap, lost it to Adam Colt, but still he was on course for a good race actually, before he sent his car spinning into the gravel in the first chicane. Not exactly sure whether he was tapped into the spin or lost it on his own. We're gonna have to watch a replay of that. I was focusing on Jordan Dolishka, who made an amazing move down the inside. Maybe surprised herself a little bit with that as well. However, Jordan Dolishka now all the way down in 9th. So not everything was great in her world right after that. But that was a good move in the end. It looked like she outbraked herself a tiny little bit, but managed to collect it. Fantastic. There was Ivars Valers. Ooh, that was a big one. And there it was. Jordan Dolishka actually made the move stick. But then Wiet Smekal lost it. This was Ivars Valers, of course, just giving a thumbs up to the marshals, signaling that he is fine. Not so much his car. So that was quite some drama. In race number 2. Sorry, on lap number 2. So we're now going to have to wait until everything is cleared away. And that might take some time because the car of Ivars Valers is beached in the gravel around the outside of the final corner. We also have the car of Wiet Smekal stuck in the trap on the inside of the first chicane. And actually, having watched the replay again, there was contact for Wiet Smekal, so absolutely not his fault. He was tagged from behind by, and it must have been Giacomo Germandi actually. Yeah. Giacomo Germandi rushing into the scene, and that's a big frustration for Wiet Smekal. He got tagged from behind. Giacomo Germandi overly optimistic into the chicane, even cut across the inside curb very aggressively as he was trying to somehow avoid anyone, but that brought him even closer to Wiet Smekal, and then there was contact that sent Smekal spinning. It would have been very weird for a front-wheel drive car to lose it in such fashion in that spot. But I was really focusing on the other side of the corner, whether Jordan Dolishka would still make it. And that was actually a good move in the end. But unfortunately, right after that, let's see that again now. Ivars Valers losing it through the final corner. That was a mistake of his own, as he found himself too wide, and there was the contact. Giacomo Germandi hit Vít, sent him spinning into the gravel. What a bad luck on the home track. And we have a red flag. The race is stopped. The race is stopped. This will still take a lot of time to get all the cars out of the gravel. Still no one attending Smejkal's car. Maybe they are even going to leave it where it is. But it will take some time before we're able to actually get Valers' car out of trouble. There's already rescue vehicles at the scene of the crash, trying to drag the Audi out of the gravel. There's another vehicle now moving on, well, on the grass, but not really sure where it's going, because at this pace, it's going to reach the final corner, I would assume on Tuesday, maybe. But at the same time, there are already vehicles getting Valers' car out, but we might actually, well, okay, we might actually need to lift the car up. That's probably the internal communication of the team of the track marshals, that it's probably not a good option to drag the car through the gravel, but they are still going to do it. Yeah, they are doing it now. So the car is being dragged through the gravel. So that will get the car going. There it is. Just as the rest of the field is being driven back onto the start and finish straight, where everybody will now stop. So Valers out. And the race director navigating everyone to where they should stop, basically assume grid positions. We are definitely not going to have another standing start, that's for sure. It's going to be a safety car restart, of course, once we get going again. But we have a flatbed truck on the circuit right now, making its way to the final corner as well. But it seems that Ivars Valers has managed to restart his car and will at least drive it off the track. So he's now driving back into the pits. So that's dealt with. He will have to retire, of course, because he's used an external support to get out of the gravel, so he can't stay in the race. He's driving his Audi back to the pits, to his team, but that is the race over, and the flatbed might now come for the car of Vít Smejkal. And as you see, we also have to repair the barrier a little bit. That's what the crane is for, to help lift the tires. And there is Smejkal's car being also dragged out. He will also be able now to get back to the pits on his own, under his own power. But of course, that's the race over. Let's see. Yeah, and look at him. Look at him in the car. Hitting the steering wheel in frustration. This was shaping up to be a good home race for Smejkal. and he was then hit on the right rear corner. The car does not even look very happy and very healthy, so there might actually be suspension damage after that crash. And work is being carried out on the car of Giacomo Germandi, who was the other car in the contact with Smejkal, as he run into the first corner and hit Smejkal on the back. So some repairs potentially needed. The race will, of course, be restarted behind the safety car. Now we have both the crashed cars away from the track. Really big frustration for Vít Smejkal, whose hometown of Litvínov is really very close. It's like 15 minutes drive from here. That's why he always has friends visiting for the home race. Always welcoming in the paddock. And the start from the front row was a good chance, but in the end, one tag, and everything is now gone. So it seems that the barrier in the final corner is now fine. Just as Vít Smejkal is making his way back to the pits, he's now driven through the pit entry, or through the last corner, and going back to Parc Fermé. There he goes. And let's now focus on the front of the field, because things are happening there. We did mention Jordan Dolishka and her great move to second. However, then something happened, and the Austrian driver actually dropped all the way back to 9th. We do have Adam Colt in the lead, and his main rivals still rather far back. Attila Bucci only in 10th after that contact with Giacomo Germandi. Work being carried out on his car as well. You can see the front left corner being damaged and taped over wherever possible. We've also got the marshal, or the official, standing near the car, assessing the situation and just making sure that everything that has been happening around the car is still within the rules. So we have got, well, it's nicely mixed up, it needs to be said. Adam Colt currently in a great situation to score that first victory of the season. He did exactly so last year. Now he's on pole, he's first, and yeah, there was the contact between Bucci and Germandi. That resulted in front left damage for Attila Bucci. So Adam Colt, he had a terrific opening lap of the race. He went from 9th to 1st. That was quite some racecraft that we just witnessed, and therefore rightfully he's on so to say pole position. Basically we'll have a safety car restart, of course, so he'll start first. Petr Čížek, another local driver, right behind him, so it's still a Czech 1-2. Žarko Kněgo up to 3rd from 5th on the grid in his Hyundai Elantra. David Kajaya, ladies and gentlemen, from 12th on the grid up to 4th. So it's a complete shake-up of the order here. Then we have this chap, Maťo Homola, yesterday's race winner, currently 5th. Behind him, Giacomo Germandi in P6. Jiří Zbožínek, unfortunately, dropped from 4th to 7th compared to the grid position. René Kircher stayed in 8th. Then Jordan Dolishka from pole down to 9th. Unfortunately, Attila Bucci only in 10th. This has not been a great weekend for the young Hungarian from the championship point of view. And out of the race are Vít Smejkal and Ivars Valers. So, the red flag has just been removed and the safety car is taken off. So we will have one more lap and the race will be restarted. And it actually has been formally restarted, so the timer is now ticking. This is already counting towards the race distance. It's like any safety car period now, which means that at the end of this lap, the safety car will be brought back into the pit lane and we will be racing in Most once again. Quite a lot of red flags this weekend, I need to say. So Adam Kout, Petr Čížek, Žarko Kněgo, David Kajaya, Maťo Homola, Giacomo Germandi, Jiří Zbožínek, René Kircher, Jordan Dolishka and Attila Bucci. That is the order of the remaining cars that we still have in this race. And we are ready to go green again here in Most. Adam Kout, I've already mentioned his situation, still waiting for that victory. He has been second 4 times already this season, so it's time to go one better for Adam Kout. But look at everybody being so hungry for the restart. It is now up to Adam to choose the pace and choose the moment where he goes flat out, full throttle. He's doing it right now as we are bringing the entire field back onto the start and finish straight. Adam Kout immediately putting a little bit of a gap between himself and Petr Čížek. And now we go hard under braking into the first corner. Žarko Kněgo having a little look down the inside. René Kircher making a move round the outside, but still no changes in the order. Žarko Kněgo under attack from David Kajaya. Maťo Homola trying to see for himself where he can actually make an attempt with his Elantra. As we are reaching the halfway mark of the race, Kout leading safely and immediately putting tenths of a second right behind himself. But Petr Čížek still showing good pace at the moment. A little wider exit out of 7, but still holding on to Coat. And they are both now getting away from Žarko Knego. Žarko still third, but it is also about tyres. Similarly yesterday, Knego was losing ground at first, but then coming back through the field. And then he scored a very nice 6th place. Maťo Homola lining up for a move on Kajaya, but he knows full well that Kajaya is no rookie. He is one of the most experienced drivers in the field, definitely. Having experience even from TCR International. Oh, and we have got Giacomo Germandi, who has stopped on the track. Maťo Homola making a move down the inside, a little bit of touching between the two gentlemen. And Maťo Homola is now through. René Kircher is trying to follow suit, but this will have to be another safety car at least, because we have got a stricken Honda Civic of Giacomo Germandi somewhere on the track. Then the race will have to be neutralized by the time everybody will get to that spot. I'm still struggling to figure out where that is, but the safety car is now out. The boards are also out, the flags are out, and everybody has to slow down once again. There it is. There is Giacomo Germandi and his Honda. Not a great weekend for the Italian. There we are, it's the last sector. There is the race leader, Adam Coat, now driving his car past the stricken Honda. Not exactly sure what's going on here. It appears to me that there is some sort of technical problem, because we do not see any skid marks on the track. We do not see any damage to that Honda. But the race is neutralized yet again. We have not really had that much of racing action. But this will again take time for the race control to actually bring some machinery to the scene of the incident. And yeah, we actually rushed all the machinery to the other side of the circuit. Now I see a flatbed joining the track right before the Orlen gantry. You saw that as well, probably. On the right-hand side of your picture, it's now gone from the view, but it is now driving or being driven to the critical sector. But this will take yet another lengthy period. I'm even worried that we might have another red flag. So far it's a safety car only. There it is, there's the truck. With a Superman standing on it. Hmm. 8 minutes 50 left for us in this race. I'm not really sure whether we can get rid of this Honda. Ooh, and the front left. Front left is actually really broken. Maybe if we can get a different view of that car. Yeah, here, look at this. This is now revealing the true reason for why Germandi stopped on the track and why he is unable to get his car back to the pits himself. The front left facing a very unhealthy angle. Ooh, not really sure. But now one of the track marshals actually chose that wheel, but that will go loose, really, as they will try to pick the car up. Not really sure what that suspension is now going to do, but you not really sure about this. Okay, we'll see. Either way, the race is neutralized yet again. We've got just over 7 minutes left. The car is being lifted, but only on at the back. The front doesn't really want to move off the ground. So in the meantime, we are still stuck behind the safety car, and with no further red flag, we will not get any more racing. Well, not any more, but not a lot more racing action, because yeah, the marshals are still struggling with the Honda. There it is now, leaning heavily, and you can actually see what the weight distribution is on these TCR cars, where most of its weight is actually on the front. So if you lift it up in the air, it is leaning heavily towards the front end. Now the car is above the flatbed. Careful, careful. And it is now on board. There we go. Just under 6 minutes left for this race. This is bringing Adam Koht, of course, very close to success. Also Petr Čížek and also Žarko Knego. They are the top 3 drivers currently, with the championship leader Maťo Homola in 4th and Attila Bucci still down in 7th. So right before this safety car, he at least managed to get himself from 10th to 7th. So good progress for him. But he would definitely like this race to go green for a little bit longer, so that he can make more ground. His car seems to be still working. His team managed some repairs during the red flag period. Now we have to let the entire field through before this truck will be allowed to drive back into the pits. There we go. And once it is off the track, the safety car will be able to return back to the pits. But the time is still running out. At least the truck is not really far away from the pit entry. So I assume one more lap. That means that at the end of this lap, we might be racing again, but we only have just over 4 minutes left on the clock. That will give us, I would say, one more lap of racing action, because behind the safety car, we have been lapping in about 3 minutes per lap. So that will take most of the time that is left. And we might be left with about a minute if we are able to release the cars under green conditions at the end of this one. The truck is making its way around the second to last corner, so I believe it is doable. The rest of the pack only heading to the hairpin at the far end of the track. I'm still waiting for that message from the race control that the safety car will be able to get back into the pits in this lap. It should be. The truck has already exited the track. So everything is now ready for the race to go green. And we will have one more lap in this race. One more lap under racing conditions. And we have a Czech 1-2 currently. Adam Kout and Petr Čížek. Žarko Knego in third. But the championship leader, Maťo Homola, definitely hungry for another podium spot from fourth. Behind him, David Kajaya, René Kirche, Attila Bucci, Jiří Zbožínek and Jordan Doliška. 9 cars left in this race. The safety car is coming back into the pits and we are awaiting the rest of the pack. Okay, 2 minutes 10, so even the safety car sped up a little bit on that last lap from its normal tempo. And there we go racing again. So this is actually giving us 2 laps from home. Look at David Kajaya, he's trying not to overtake Maťo Homola before the line. That was very close, and now René Kircher is getting himself in the mix. This is going to be a 3-way fight. Attila Bucci also having a look. Plumes of smoke coming from the car of Žarko Knego as he braked very heavily but managed everything correctly. It's David Kajaya coming through on Maťo Homola. Homola dropping from 4th to 5th. And Attila Bucci fighting René Kircher. Behind them, Jiří Zbožínek in the third. Janík Motorsports, Elantra. Kout still leading from Čížek and Knego. So theoretically, we actually have 2 laps in this race. Safety car made it in a better time the last time out. It sped up to give us a little more racing time. Thanks for that. And there we go. But it was David Kajaya actually making a surprise move on Maťo Homola. He had to give it back very briefly across the line, as that would have been still a safety car overtake. But I believe he just about made it because, there was 1/100th of a second between them across the line, with Homola still 4th, Kajaya 5th. So Kajaya managed to slow it down just enough, and then he immediately stayed on the inside line and made that move into the first corner. Beautiful stuff, and that is the experience I was talking about by the Georgian. But Maťo Homola looking very racy indeed and lining up for another move as Attila Bucci is moving ahead of René Kircher. Maťo Homola getting that 4th place back off the hands of David Kajaya, and also Attila Bucci lining up for another one. Kajaya going defensive. Chooses the inside line directly past the pit wall. René Kircher flying past, trying to make a move round the outside. Look out for Bucci. This is going to be very close indeed, but Kajaya closing the door on the young Hungarian. Great defense from the Georgian. And now René Kircher managed a little bit better drive out and acceleration out of the chicane. But that's still not getting him into an overtaken opportunity. Petr Čížek, this is really starting to look very good for him. This would be a home podium. Adam Kout. He's definitely not going to let this one go. He's still waiting for that first victory of the season. He did score that first victory of the season here last year. And he is about to do the same in 2024 as well. There is Adam Kout. And I believe that he is too talented and too experienced for this to lose. So he is about to do exactly what he needs to bring that Elantra home away from everybody else. There is Adam Kout, but Petr Čížek on course for a great one. So is Žarko Knego. And this is going to be a very happy podium indeed. Around the final corner we go, and it is the homeboy, Adam Kout, scoring his first victory of the 2024 season, just like last year. Petr Čížek taking second, and Žarko Knego coming home third. What a race this has been. What a mixed up proceedings. That is now giving us a rather surprising podium. But this will be a trio of biggest of smiles that you've seen in a long while, I assume. Matjo Homola, the championship leader, lost the 4th place, then regained it back, but lost touch in the process with the leading trio, crucially. So he enjoyed a nice fight with David Kajaya in those closing 2 laps. They were very beautiful, needs to be said, but not a lot has happened among the top trio, and that means that Matjo Homola, the championship leader, is bringing the car home in 4th from David Kajaya in 5th. Attila Bucci has dealt with René Kircher to come home in 6th. Kircher 7th, Jiří Zbožinek P8, Jordan Dolishka P9. Adam Colt, 4 second places in 2024. Not a single victory, but that is history now. Adam Colt scores that maiden victory of 2024 here in Most on his home track. Petr Čížek, again, a home race for him as well. So far, the best he could do this season was a couple of 5th places, but now it is the podium, and it is going to taste so good for the Express Auto Racing's driver. Same story for Žarko Kněgo. Again, the best position for him so far in 2024 was 5th. But he is now bringing his Elantra for the first podium of 2024. What a race. We didn't really enjoy that much of racing action. There was another lengthy red flag period, a lot of safety car, but from what we did have left, it was great racing action all around, and it is a great result for motorsport. Adam Colt victorious, Petr Čížek 2nd, Žarko Kněgo 3rd, and I don't know how about you, but I always like the unexpected results. It's always great to see that happiness of the drivers that do not really enjoy to be on the podium that often, scoring greatly, and this is the story of race number 2 here in Most. With that, it is a very short goodbye, but we will be very back soon with the second GT Sprint.